Well, welcome everybody to Reach and Read. My name is Katie and I work at the Sacramento Public Library where books are just the beginning. We're so happy to have you here and to have local yoga instructor Kat Sun with us today, and we'll get to her in just a moment. But first, I wanted to mention a few things. So just some housekeeping to start with, especially if it's your first time joining us for this program. We are doing this in a webinar format, so all participant microphones and video have been disabled. So if you have a question or a comment, please feel free to use the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen, and either myself or Kat will get back to you. If you're having any audio related issues, please exit the program and re-enter. We find that doing that will typically solve that issue. If you need closed captioning at any point during the program, please click the live transcript button that you'll find at the bottom of your screen. You'll click that button, wait just a moment, and then you'll see that closed captioning pop up and you can follow along. And also, this program is being recorded and will be shared to the virtual yoga playlist that's available on our YouTube channel. And in case you haven't checked it out before, you can find our YouTube channel under Sacramento Public Library. And make sure to stick around after the yoga demonstration for this week's question to help you take your friendships to the next level. And I do want to mention, because we are getting to the end of this particular session of Reach and Read, that there will be a survey going out to everybody who has participated. And of course, we always appreciate hearing your thoughts and feedback, so keep an eye out for that email. And then I'm just going to skip over that just in the interest of time, but I did want to mention that we have lots of other health resources available at the Sacramento Public Library. Like I mentioned, we have past recordings of virtual yoga programs available on our YouTube channel. It's a very robust playlist, so there's something for everybody over there that you can check out. We also do a virtual Zumba on Mondays at 5:30 and virtual Zumba Gold on Wednesdays at 4. And Zumba Gold is great for beginners and older adults to join, so we do that weekly. We're also doing a monthly journaling for mental health program. So the next one will be next Thursday at our Sylvan Oaks Library. So if you're into mindfulness, art journaling practices, meditation, that's a really great one to join. And of course, you can check out a book about the benefits of exercise, mindfulness, and yoga from the library collection. So with that, I'll go ahead and say thank you and turn things over to Kat. So Kat, take it away, and everyone please enjoy.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us, and happy Thursday. So as usual, I'm offering this from my home, and I have dogs and a father who lives with me and neighbors. So please excuse any kind of extraneous sounds you might hear. As always, we're going to be using some props if you happen to have some props, yoga props at home. So of course, a yoga mat's great to have. I always like to have a yoga blanket or some kind of a firm blanket, a couple of yoga blocks, a yoga strap. If you don't have a strap at home, you can use a belt or a dog leash or anything to help extend your reach. And that's kind of the basics that we always tend to like to come to class with. So I hope you have something like that nearby that you can kind of gather with you. And then with that, we'll go ahead and get started. So this morning's question related to the book on friendship that Katie shares with us is, what do you believe? So we'll be just offering some little prompts into that question as we practice this morning. So as always, let's go ahead and get started by just arriving onto our back. I always like to have a folded blanket for a pillow under my head. If you're all home probably, then if you've got a little pillow, a little cushion or something, you can also use that. And then it's great to just have your other props nearby. So within reach, you got your blocks and your straps or whatever else you have there. And we'll go ahead and get started on our backs. So arriving onto our back, if it's comfortable for your back, you can have those legs straight and let the feet roll out, arms out to the sides with the palms up. But if this is too intense for your back, you can always bend those knees. Maybe walk your feet a little bit wider apart from each other, and then you can let the knees knock in to support each other. And just taking the moment to arrive. So we always take a moment at the beginning of practice to just really allow ourselves to arrive and to check in. So as you allow yourself to arrive into your practice this morning, or whatever time of day you're practicing, Just beginning to let the energy settle. So feeling where the back body is touching the earth, wherever your body is being supported, just bring your awareness there. And can you begin to soften into that support underneath you? And as you settle in, you'll feel the muscles along the spine can relax as you go from a vertical to a horizontal position here. So as the muscles along the spine relax, notice how that might start to already begin to shift your nervous system. Does that begin to shift your breath? And begin to notice your breath. How's your breath right now? What's the quality of your breath? Just without any effort to change or manipulate anything, we're just taking a moment to really tune in. So beginning to dive inwards. So bring our awareness from this outer world of busyness and a lot of sensory activation outside of us, starting to bring your awareness inwards into your inner sensing body, your inner feeling body. Becoming intimate with your breath, beginning to tune into your inner listening to the body wisdom. The body's always speaking with us. But most of the times, we maybe are a little too caught up in the busyness of the mind to hear the body's communication. So beginning to cultivate that inner listening. Giving ourselves a moment just to slow down in our day. Be present in the moment with ourselves. As you continue to settle in and tune your awareness inwards, begin to really ride the wave of your breath. So just noticing as you inhale, the breath as it moves in through the nostrils. You might feel the breath expanding through the body. And as you exhale, the air moves out through the nostrils and the body kind of gently hugs back towards the core, towards the earth. So starting to ride that wave of breath. Nice and easy. Just enjoy that. And maybe open your mouth, wiggle out your jaw a little, stretch out your tongue, soften the muscles of your face, relax the muscles around your eyes, and soften the space between your eyebrows. Okay, and from here, as always, we're going to just start with some gentle movement to begin. So I like to have us bend our knees, feet on the floor. Everybody now, feet a little bit wider apart, maybe about mat width apart. Opening those arms out wide into the T, palms up. So I often start with this kind of gentle sequence. So as we inhale, we're looking up to neutral at the ceiling. As you exhale, just spin your head to the right and pause and breathe here. So keep spinning your head to the right as you start to reach your left hand, left arm away from you. So there's not much movement happening, but can you stay engaged in the action? So keep spinning the head towards the right, keep reaching the left arm towards the left. Reaching that left palm away from you, keeping that left shoulder grounded, and feel the stretch now across your left chest, into that left armpit, down the length of the arm, into the hands. Breathe into that stretch on that left side. And then with our inhale, we bring our head up to neutral and go ahead, exhale, spin the head to the left as you reach your right arm away from you. So really broaden through the right palm and reach that right arm and palm away from you. And now breathe into the stretch happening on the right side. Maybe you feel it on the side of the neck. Maybe you can feel a stretch going across the right chest, down the armpit, into the length of the arm, down into the palm of the hand, through the fingers. So just notice what's present for you as you activate this action. And then back to neutral. As you exhale again, head to the right. This time let both knees rock to the left. And then we're going to windshield wiper. So inhale, up through center. Exhale, head to the left, knees rock to the right. Nice and easy, windshield wiping now, side to side, those knees spinning in one direction as the head spins in the other. So just a very gentle twist through the spine. You're in control of how far you take your knees over, how far you turn your head in the opposite direction. So just feeling, sensing. You might slow it down a beat and really feel the movement in your body. Okay. And then next time you inhale to neutral, let's pause. So step 2 of this little warm-up sequence, we bring the arms up to the ceiling and we bend our elbows as we clasp the elbows. Take an inhale, and again, exhale, slide your head to the right as you slide your elbows to the left. So now head and elbows moving in opposite direction. And again, pause and breathe here. So again, engage in the action. So keep spinning your head right as you continue to slide your elbows to the left. And just notice what's here for you this morning. Every day is different. When you're ready, we bring it up to center and exhaling other direction. Head to the left, elbows slide right. Again, pausing on the second side, breathing into what you find. How's it different maybe from the first side? Where do you feel this? Can you bring your awareness into where the sensation is presenting itself? And just breathe into that. Excuse me. Inhale, bring it back up to neutral. Now look at your forearms, and we're gonna change the crossing so the other forearm now stacks on top closer towards your face. Take an inhale, and as you exhale now, take your head and your knees to the right as you slide your elbows to the left. So head and knees are moving in the same direction now as the elbows slide in the opposite direction. Inhale brings us up through center. Exhaling, head and knees to the left, elbows slide right. So nice and easy. Go slow as you oscillate side to side, sliding and gliding, and just enjoy the movement. And then even though you think you're going slow, can you slow it down another 5%? So really slow it down so that you can feel a little bit more in order to integrate a little bit more. Just enjoy this gentle rocking and sliding and gliding. Okay, getting the second side, and then take your time, no rush, but the next time you complete your second side and you come to neutral, let's pause here. And then we're just going to release our arms to the sides again, palms up. Let's go ahead and hug our knees into the chest, and we're gonna rock a little side to side here. So now we massage that low back into the floor. And again, just noticing what's here this morning. How's that low back feeling? Okay, as always, we're gonna hug the knees together. So now if your knees don't come together and you have a block or a cushion, nice firm cushion, you can always hug that between your knees and then use the hands on the outside of the knees to hug them in towards each other. Okay, so that's just an option. So knees hugging in towards each other, hands pressing the knees in from the outer knees. We're gonna circle the knees together as one big knee in the air. So again, we often do this as a warm-up, and we're just massaging now our low back and our sacral area. So we're drawing the knees together as one big circle in the air. And then again, can you slow it down another beat? So again, really focusing on sensing, on feeling, rather than on the doing. We're not trying to get in lots of reps. Okay. Whenever you feel ready, go ahead and just circle those knees together in the other direction. Notice how does it feel all around the circumference of your sacrum. Just a reminder, the sacrum is that triangle bone that's right above your butt crease at the base of the spine. And oftentimes there can be some tenderness or some stickiness that people might feel in this region. So oftentimes this can feel really nice, like you're just massaging all around that area. Okay, and then next time your knees come to your chest, let's hug it in and just rock a little side to side. From here, we're gonna press the knees away from the chest. Keep them away from the chest as you open them wide apart from each other. Keep them wide apart from each other as you hug them back in towards your armpits, and then bring them back to the midline. So like that, we're circling the knees, but now they mirror each other. So we're bringing movement now into the hip sockets. And here, as you circle your knees, as they mirror each other, notice, does it feel about the same on both sides, or does it feel a little different from one side to the other? How's this movement feel in your body? Just remember to keep breathing, nice, easy, fluid breaths. And then whenever you feel ready, you can slow that down in order just to reverse the circling of your knees. So they're still mirroring each other, but we're just changing the direction of the circles. All right, and then the next time the knees come back to your chest, again, rock a little side to side. Now we're gonna split those knees into our armpits. So the knees are split as far as that you comfortably can get them as you hug them in towards the armpits. Now you can just keep it like this as you gently rock a little side to side, or for those of you who would like to take happy baby, soles of the feet point up to the sky, shins are perpendicular to the floor as we clasp behind the thighs, outer shins, outer ankles, or outer edges of the feet. Just make sure you're not reaching so high up that your shoulders are lifting off the floor and the back of the neck is jammed and your chin's lifting above your forehead. That sends a message to the nervous system that you're in fight or flight. So make sure your shoulders are resting on the floor, the back of the neck is nice and long, and you got your forehead and chin at about the same level. So that if that means clasping lower on the leg, then clasp lower on the leg. And then just rock a little side to side here in your variation of happy baby or knees and armpits. All right, and then from there, we're gonna set both feet back onto the floor. Feet are just about hip width. You can slide the feet up close towards your hips, to a distance that's comfortable, whatever's comfortable. And so feet are about hip width apart. From here, you're gonna keep your left foot grounded on the floor as you lift your right ankle and cross your right ankle past your left knee. Now, as your right ankle comes here, you're gonna flex that right foot. Flexing the foot starts to help engage the muscles around the knee, so we help stabilize the knee joint. And then we start by bringing our hands onto the thigh, slide those hands all the way down to the hip joint here where the thigh and the torso meet. And you can gently press the heels of the palms into the thighs, one hand on each thigh, and gently press your low back into the floor. And just see what's here for you. If there's a lot here for this outer hip, you might just stay here and keep breathing here. For those of you where maybe not a lot's happening in this, then you take the right hand. So it's the right foot that's lifted. So it's the same hand as the foot that's lifted. You take the right hand into the hole between the legs, and then you lift the left foot as you clasp behind the left thigh. Or if this is not an easy clasp for you, this is where you might want to use your strap or your belt or whatever it is you have at home that's helping you reach. So in which case you can take the strap onto the back of that thigh, and then you hold either side of the strap with either hand. And the right hand is holding the strap that's coming in through the hole, yeah? And then you use your hands to maybe help that left knee in towards you. Keep your right foot still lightly flexed as you send the right knee away from you. And we're breathing into this outer right hip. Take a nice breath in here, and exhale, clear it out. Okay, just continuing to hug that left knee in as you breathe is good. Otherwise, if you feel ready, you can also begin to flex your left foot, and we're going to press the left foot straight up towards the sky, lengthening the back of the left leg now. Once the leg is up, you point the left toes, and then bend the knee, bring your left foot back down. We're going to do that a couple more times. So flex the foot first, moving with intention as you send the heel up to lengthen the back line of the leg. And then point the toes, bend the knee, bring it back down. Take your time. Again, lengthening through the back line. And then get the articulation through the ankle, bend the knee, bring it back down. Now you can continue to move up and down, easing your way into the hamstring on that left side. Or if you feel ready, you can keep the left leg lifted. If your left leg is lifted, Then start to press the back of that left hamstring into your hands or the strap and vice versa. So you get a little inner resistance here. Now, if the left foot is lifted, keep the foot gently flexed as you press the back of the thigh into the hands or strap. And then if you like, you can circle your left foot in the air, getting some movement through that left ankle. So important to get mobility and cultivate flexibility and stability through and strength through the ankles. Okay, and then we circle it the other direction. And then go ahead and point and flex that lifted foot in the air a few times. All right, next time the foot flex, keep flexing the foot. And can you spread the sole of that left foot? Spread the toes. And think about pressing up through the inner heel and ball of the big toe. You can keep it right here, or with your inhale, we're in neutral. As we exhale, if it's available, you can lift your head straight up. If this is not too much for your neck, you can take a breath with your head lifted. If it's not appropriate for the neck, please bring your head down. And then everybody, let's release the head down. We're gonna bend the left knee. We're gonna plant that left foot onto the floor. Keep your right ankle still, crossing past the left knee. Open your arms out wide into a T, palms up. Now walk your left foot to the left side of your mat. And then taking a breath in, as you exhale, let both knees rock to the right. So we were doing something like this earlier, but now you got the right ankle on top of the outer left knee, helping the inner left knee towards the floor. So helping us to access the stretch across the top left quads, through that left psoas, left waist, low waist, and belly area. But if this is too much pressure for your left knee, then you take your right ankle off the knee and you just put it on the floor instead. Okay, so just one more breath here. Do your best to keep both shoulders grounded and keep your shoulder blades sliding down the back away from your ears as you breathe here. And then we bring the whole thing up. So right ankle is still crossed past the left knee. Walk your left foot now into the center of the mat. And then when you're ready, you're gonna roll to the left. So now you're rolling towards the outer left hip, and the sole of the right foot can plant onto the floor. If it doesn't reach the floor and you've got a block, you can slide a block underneath the foot. So maybe the right sole of the right foot can ground onto a block, and the right knee can point up to the sky. And then for those of you where it's an easy reach here, if you can easily, your left hand's just there right by your right ankle, you can clasp the right ankle with the left hand. And breathe here. Again, shoulder blades are still sliding down the back away from the ears. Your right hip is slightly lifted as you're rolling more towards the left. And now for those of you who can, you can start to point your left knee towards the bottom of the mat. So you start to walk this left foot behind you up towards the hip. Yeah. So if this is not appropriate for your body, don't worry about this part. But for those of you who have that range of motion, you can do that. You can point the left knee down towards the bottom of the mat as you bring the left foot in towards the hip, in which case you can use your right hand to clasp the left ankle. So whichever variation you're in, let's just take a beat and breathe here. Now, if you do have the clasp of the ankles, let's go ahead and release. And we're going to roll back up. So we're back on our back, looking straight up. And now we're going to slide that right ankle along the outseam of the left shin so that we come with our right thigh crossed over our left. Just like if you were seated with your right leg, your right thigh crossed over the left. Okay? And then we're going to hug the knees in towards us while that right thigh is crossed over the left. For some people, this is not accessible, not appropriate. Then you uncross the thighs. Instead, you cross the right shin in front of the left shin or the right ankle in front of the left ankle. You can gently hug your knees in and rock a little side to side. For those of you who it is accessible and you're able to get the right thigh crossed over the left, you can use your hands. You can slide the hands along the outseam of each leg and splay the feet away from each other a little bit. And whichever variation you're in, just gently rock a little and breathe into that outer right hip or wherever you feel the pose. And then we'll go ahead and release that. Go ahead, let your arms rest to the side, straighten both legs for a moment. and let the feet roll away from each other. And just take a breath in here and breathe it out. Just let the energy settle. Maybe you notice how one side feels a little different from the other. From here, we're gonna bend those knees one at a time, feet on the floor again. Again, get the feet in close by your hips, as close in as is comfortable for you. Feet are hip width apart, so if they're not too wide and they're also not right up against each other, just a nice comfortable position. Keep your right foot grounded and lift your left ankle. Lift your left foot, cross the left ankle past the right knee, and start to flex the left foot. Maintaining that gentle flex in the left foot to activate and protect around that knee joint, sliding those hands down into the hip crease and pressing the heel of the palms into your thighs as you press that low back gently into the floor. And again, breathing here, seeing what's here for you this morning. Noticing if one side is different than the other. Possibly staying here for a while. Otherwise, if you're ready, left foot's lifted, so left hand is going to go into the hole between the legs as you lift the right foot and you clasp behind the right thigh. Again, option to use a strap if the clasp is not an easy clasp for you, right? So if you're struggling to clasp and the shoulders lifted and the back and neck is crunched, then use your strap. Use something to extend your reach. And then again, keeping your left foot flexed, send the left knee away from you as you use your hands or the strap to hug your right knee in a little bit. Breathe into that outer left hip. What's here? Wherever you feel the sensation, just allowing your awareness to go there and imagine you're breathing into that area. You're helping, as you bring your awareness there, you're helping the energy to flow. Like wherever the awareness goes, the prana flows. Okay, and then from here, option now to start to press up, to flex the right foot, and then you're going to press up through the heel to lengthen the back of the right leg. Once your leg is up, point the toes, bend the knee, bring it back down. So nice and slow. Flex the foot first, then press up through the heel, really lengthening the back line. Point the toes, bend the knee, bring it back down. Maybe a few more times. So you can continue to keep it dynamic, easing your way into this hamstring. Or for those of you who are ready, you can pause with your leg up next time. And then again, if you're pausing with the leg lifted, the foot lifted, can you press the back of that hamstring into the hands or the strap and vice versa? And then we're going to circle the lifted ankle. The right ankle in the air, we'll circle it out a bit. Get some movement. How does that feel? Notice the muscles that engage in order to facilitate the movement. And then circle it the other way. And then point and flex a few times. And then, again, flex the foot. So pausing here, breathing into this. Again, hamstring, back of the hamstring, pressing into the support of the hands or the strap and vice versa. Shoulder blades sliding down the back body. Shoulders are resting on the floor. Back of the neck is nice and long. Face is soft. Keeping all of that, option now, take an inhale. Option to lift the head straight up if it does not create excess strain in your neck. Take a breath here. When you're ready, bring your head back down and let's bend the right knee as we bring the right foot onto the floor. Again, open our arms out wide into the T. Walk your right foot to the right side of your mat. And as you exhale, both knees are going to rock to the left. So now weight of that left ankle helps the inner right knee towards the floor, getting a stretch across the right upper quad, the right quads, psoas, belly, waist, wherever you might feel it. And again, listen to your body. If it's too much for that knee, please, please, please take the ankle off of the knee and just set it on the floor next to it. All right, and then we're going to bring the whole thing back up. Planting your right foot back on the floor. Now walk the right foot to the center of the mat again. From here, we're going to roll to the outer right hip. The left hip will come a little bit off the floor as we bring our left foot towards the floor. So again, if your left foot doesn't make it to the floor, maybe that's where you use a block. You can have the block at a higher height. So take what you need. And then letting that left knee point up to the sky. If it's an easy clasp, you can use your right hand to clasp the left ankle, possibly staying here. Or for those of you who would like, you can start to point your right knee down towards the bottom of the mat as you walk your right foot closer towards the hip behind you, and then maybe using your left hand to clasp the right foot behind you. And just take a breath, whichever variation you're in. Again, can you soften your mouth and relax your tongue? Relax the muscles around your eyes and soften your gaze. Okay, and then we're going to unwind out of that. So back up through center, planting the right foot back on the floor. Now slide your left ankle along the outseam of the right shin so that your left thigh is crossed over your right, and hug it in. Again, if this is not appropriate, you uncross the thighs instead. Left shin or left ankle crosses over the right, and you hug the knees in and rock. If you've got the thighs crossing, you can use your hands, slide it along the out seams to splay the legs, the lower legs and feet away from each other as you gently rock a little and breathe here. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and release. Again, let both legs just go nice and long. Let your feet roll away from each other as you let your arms rest to the sides. And take a nice breath in, clearing breath out. Feel the energy, let it move through. Rather than rushing on to the next thing, just allow yourself to luxuriate in this sense of having all the time in the world to feel and just be present in this moment. Okay. From here, we're going to keep our arms to the sides. You're going to let your right foot roll out, so get the outer edge of the right foot onto the floor or towards the floor. And keep your right foot kind of rolling out as you start to slide along the outer edge of the right foot. You're going to slide that right foot up towards the inner groin, so your right knee is opening out to the right. And then you'll just slide the foot away. And then we're going to do the same with the left side. So let the left foot roll out along the outer edge of the foot. You slide the foot up towards the groin, the knees pointing out, and then you release. So nice and easy. A few more times. Take your time. No rush. Again, focus on how does this movement feel in your body. Sorry, that's my dog. I don't know what's going on. And just take your time, breathe, and feel. So again, I apologize. All right. So we just breathe into whatever is presenting itself in this moment, whether that's sensations or noises. Don't let it disturb your equilibrium. Okay, now the next time your right foot slides up, you're going to roll onto the sole of the right foot. The right knee points up to the sky. You're going to roll to the inner edge of the right foot so the right knee crosses the midline. Stay along the inner edge of the foot as you straighten your leg long. And then let your foot roll out. Other side, along the outer edge of the left foot, slide the foot up. Roll onto the sole of the foot, the knee points up. Roll to the inner edge of the foot, the knee crosses the midline. Along the inner edge of the foot, you slide the foot away and the foot rolls out. So like that, outer edge of the right foot, slide the foot up. Onto the sole of the foot, let the knee cross the midline. Along the inner edge of the foot, you roll, you slide the foot out, and then the foot rolls out. Outer edge of the left foot, slide the foot up. Onto the sole of the foot, knee points up. Inner edge of the foot, knee crosses the midline. Along the inner edge of the foot, slide the foot away, and the foot rolls out. One more time like that, nice and slow. Let it be fluid. Just notice, how does this movement feel in the hips? Yeah? Take your time. Enjoy and luxuriate. Now the next time the right foot slides up again, we're going to come back onto the sole of the foot. Knee points up. You're going to start to let the knee cross the midline. And then you're going to press into the foot as you let yourself roll to the outer left hip. The right hip will come off the floor a little bit, but keep your shoulders, both shoulders stay heavy. So you're just coming to a little bit of a twist, keeping the right shoulder heavy as you lift the right hip towards the left. And then you unwind and just come back onto your back. So like that, press into the foot, press into the right foot, the right knee crosses the midline, the right hip lifts, you roll to the left, and then you unwind. So just gentle twisting here. Breathe into it. How does this feel in your body? Okay. And then the next time you come back onto your back, roll to the inner edge of the foot, slide the foot away, and the foot rolls out. Second side, outer edge of the left foot, slide the foot up. Roll onto the sole of the foot. Start to let the knee cross the midline as you press down into the foot to roll to the outer right hip. The left hip lifts off the floor, but keep both shoulders grounded. And then you unwind back onto your back. Again, knee crosses towards the right, press into the foot, lift that left hip to the right, and unwind. So make sure you're breathing as you gently rock in and out of this. Good. And then the next time you come back onto your back, again, roll to the inner edge of the left foot, the knee crosses the midline. Along the inner edge of the foot, we stretch the leg long, and we let the foot roll out. Okay, and then just take a beat. Again, just allow it to settle. And now point all 10 toes in, all 10 toes out. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, and just rock in, out, like windshield wiping your feet, and they're mirroring each other. So all 10 toes point in, all 10 toes point out. And just get some momentum. So you're not really thinking about it. You're not controlling the movement. You're just kind of rocking them. And then start to slow down that rocking. Slow it down. Slow it down. All right, until you pause. Okay, now let both feet roll out if that's available. Can you let both knees point out as you slide both feet up towards you? And you can use your hands on the outside of the knees to bring both knees up and hug it in towards your chest. And one more time, rock a little side to side here. And then from here, we're going to roll over to one side as we come onto our belly. So now you're going to move that blanket out of the way. As you come onto your belly, you can stack your hands one on top of the other as a little pillow for the forehead. So the elbows are out and your forehead is on the hand stack. Your belly and your chest are on the floor. So if this is not comfortable and you need a little bit of a lift, you can always have a little blanket or something underneath you. Or take what you need so that you can be here for a moment. If you're on a hard floor, you might need to lay a blanket along the length of your mat so it's not too hard of a surface you're laying on. So take what you need. Okay, and with our forehead down, let's uncurl the toes. So make sure the tops of the toenails are on the floor. You're going to start to press the toenails down into the floor. As you press your toenails into the floor, feel how your legs start to engage. So the kneecaps might lift off the floor. Maintain that as you think about lengthening your tailbone down into the floor. So lengthening your low back by lengthening the tailbone into the floor, pinning it down. And then think about hugging your outer ankles in as you lift your inner thighs up towards the ceiling. So we're going to maintain all of that as we start to press into the hands. Shoulder blades slide down the back, lifting the heart. Keep back of the neck long, so gaze is down and maybe just slightly forward, but we're not crunching the neck to look up. So keep the back of the neck nice and long. Keep your shoulder blades sliding down the back body. Keep pinning that tailbone down into the earth. Low back stays long. Don't crunch the low back as you lift the heart. Breathing here. And now, can you think about sliding your navel up towards your chin as your shoulder blades slide down the back body? One more breath. And then exhale, bring the whole thing down. And again, rest your forehead on your hand stack. From here, we're gonna just take our right knee out to the side. So I'm just turning the other way so you can see my right knee. So you're gonna take your right knee straight out from the hip. So the knee's not so low, it's not like down here. It's also not so high that you're jamming and crunching here. That's just straight out from the hip. So again, if you're on a hard surface and you need some extra padding, maybe having an opened up blanket underneath your knee, just so that it's not hurting your inner knee. So now you've got 90 degrees from torso to thigh, 90 degrees from thigh to shin. So your ankles just stacked underneath your knee and your knees in line with your hip. Just take a moment here and breathe into this inner right groin. Breathe into the inner right thigh. All right, so now we're going to do some micro movements. They're small movements. So now, when you're ready, start to slide your right knee away from you like you want to plaster the inner thigh down into the floor. You want to get that inner groin into the floor. And then slide your right knee back towards you, and you'll feel the inner groin lift off the floor a little bit. So they're small movements. And again, slide the knee away, get the whole inner thigh, inner groin down into the floor. And then hug the knee back in towards you. So moving with your breath. Remember to breathe. Again, small movements. Just notice, how does this action feel? Good. And then the next time you hug it in, just allow it to release back to neutral. And again, pause and breathe. From here, again, that straight leg, the left leg, press the toenails into the floor. Hug that outer ankle in, inner thigh rolls up, pin your tailbone down into the floor, and press into your elbows to lift your heart. Shoulder blades down the back, back of the neck long. Navel up towards the chin. Breathe here. And when you're ready, gently set it back down. Come back to neutral on the floor. And now we're going to side bend to the right. So your bottom half of the body stays as it is. But you're going to bend at the waist as you start to bring your right elbow towards your left knee. Maybe they can even touch and kiss each other. Maybe, maybe not. And then you can spin your head to the right as well if that's comfortable for your neck. Now breathe into the left side of your body. Feel the stretch along the left seam. Breathing into that. You can keep it like this, or if it's appropriate, you can press down into the arms and hands, again, to lift your heart into this lifted side bend here. Last option here is that straight leg, the left leg. If you like, you can bend the left knee and bring your left foot into the air. If your left foot is lifted in the air, you can again circle the ankle here. And you can circle it the other way. It's kind of weird. Like I'm like, am I circling? I don't know. It's a little weird. Okay, and then bring the leg back down if it's lifted, and bring your chest back down. Take a beat, and then square your spine along the mat again. Come back to neutral, and we'll bring the right knee back in. So both legs long, and just take a moment. And again, take a moment to breathe and feel. Let the energy pulse through. Notice the difference from one side to the other. We're going to come into the second side when you're ready. So that hand stack you've got for the forehead, change the stack. So the other hand is now stacked on top. And then again, press your both toenails into the floor. Lengthen the tailbone long. Inner thighs rolled up as the outer ankles hug in. Same actions. And then when you're ready, press down into the arms and the hands to lift the heart. Shoulder blades down away from the ears. Navel in and up towards the chin. Keep pinning the tailbone down as you press down through the front pubic bone. Keep pinning the tailbone down to keep your low back long. And then again, when you're ready, bring it down. From here, we're gonna bend the left knee out to the left. So again, get the knee in line with the hip, not too low, not too high, just straight out from the hip. Again, have a blanket underneath the knee if you need, or something soft if the floor is too hard. And then once you get the knee placed, get the ankle just directly underneath the knee. So not way out here, nor hugging in, just directly underneath the knee. Inner knee, inner edge of the foot are grounded onto the floor. And then just pause and breathe here. Is there already a stretch in the inseam of that thigh, inner leg? Breathe into what's here. Now, again, micro movements. When you're ready, start to send the left knee away from you, like you want to plaster the inner left thigh, inner left groin into the floor. And then hug the knee back in towards you, and that inner thigh, inner groin will lift slightly off the floor. So micro movements. Slide the knee away, and then slide the knee back in. So moving a few more times, sliding and gliding, staying with your breath. Notice how does this action feel on this side. Okay, next time you send the knee away, again, hug it in and bring it back to neutral. And just pause. From here, start to press into the right toenails. The straight leg is the right leg now, so press the right toenails down as you hug that outer right ankle in, inner right thigh lifts up, lengthen your tailbone long, press into the front pubic bone, and again, pressing down through the arms and the hands to lift the heart. Shoulder blades down, back of the neck long. Same action, navel gently in and up. And then we bring the whole thing back down. And from here, we're going to side bend now to the left. So swiveling to the left as you bring the left elbow towards the left knee, maybe spinning your head to look to the left. And breathe into the right seam of your body. You can keep it down just like this, or if it's appropriate, then again, activate that straight right leg and then lift your heart as you look to the left knee. Last option here is to bend the straight leg. So right leg is straight. You can bend the right knee as you bring the right foot into the air. And if your foot's lifted, you can circle the ankle. It's really hard for me to access. I don't know how it is for you. Okay, and then we'll circle it the other way. All right, and then when you're ready, you can bring the foot back down. And then bring your head back down. Just again, pause here in the bend. And then bring your spine back to neutral in line with the length of the mat. And then hug the knee back into the midline as well. So now, again, nice and symmetrical. Take a beat. So you can keep the toenails on the floor for this last one, or if you like, you can curl the toes under and ground the balls of both feet. If you've got the toes curled under, then really think about grounding down through the balls of the feet as you press up through the heels. The kneecaps obviously are lifted if you're here. Front pubic bone presses down as you continue to lengthen the tailbone. If you've got the toenails down, then same action. You're pressing down through the toenails to lengthen the legs. So same action through the legs as we did before. And then again, last time, lifting the heart. This time as you lift the heart, if it's appropriate, you can even wing your elbows in, bringing your forearms more to parallel if you want to come more into like a Sphinx pose. If that's not appropriate, then keep your elbows out, right? So you're honoring your body as what's the right height here for you. But make sure you keep pinning your tailbone into the floor. Keep your low back long. No matter how high up you're coming, keep that low back long. You're not jamming that low back. Okay, and then everybody, let's bring it back down, forehead down. Take a breath in and out. And now let's bend the knees and windshield wiper our feet side to side. And from here, we're just going to roll back onto our backs again. Grab your blanket for a pillow. And we're rolling onto our backs here. And then we're going to come into our final Shavasana. So if you need any other movements to complete your practice, take it. You can always hug your knees in and rock a little side to side. You can take another happy baby or anything else you need to complete your practice. And then allow yourself to come into your final resting pose. And I'm going to turn things back over to Katie. And allow yourself to rest for as long as you like while you listen to Katie share the book talk this week and maybe even staying in resting pose beyond. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Kat, for another wonderful demonstration. That was really great. All right, well, did you know that having strong friendships is beneficial to your health? Having friends can lower your stress and decrease your risk of heart issues. This series of Reach and Read is focused on self-love, compassion, and openness to help grow your skills to be a better friend. We're using the book Share Your Stuff, I'll Go First, 10 Questions to Take Your Friendships to the Next Level by Laura Tremaine as a guide. The final question posed in this book is, what do you believe? For some, this is an easy question to answer. You are very clear on what you believe, and those beliefs ground you. For others, it's too daunting to articulate what we believe. Laura intentionally left this question for the last chapter in her book because she knows it can be the most difficult to express. She acknowledges that one's beliefs are private and deeply personal. She shares that there are things she believed from the moment she was born and things that she believes now that she didn't 1 or 5 years ago. She used to think that her beliefs had to be unwavering, but now knows that belief works best when it has room to breathe. It's hard to think off the top of your head all of the things that you steadfast believe. Laura suggests getting out a piece of paper and pen and writing down everything that you believe, then sitting with it, and then keep adding to that list. She ends the chapter with, I believe in you, reader. I believe we have the capacity to do beautiful, monumental things in the middle of regular, everyday lives. What then do you believe? Share Your Stuff, I'll Go First, 10 Questions to Take Your Friendships to the Next Level by Laura Tremaine is available in audio, ebook, and physical formats in the library collection right now, so you can check it out for yourself. Thank you again for joining us for Reach and Read, and a big thank you to Kat. We'll be back next Thursday, March 23rd at 10 a.m., so we hope to see you then. So to find a library location near you, sign up for a library card, or to learn about programs for all ages, just go to www.saclibrary.org. So for Kat, myself, and the Sacramento Public Library, thank you so much and be well. Bye.